Hello everyone and welcome to my series Learn to Speak Nepali. In this video series, I'll teach you everything you need to know to build a strong foundation in speaking Nepali and understanding Nepali culture. In this video, I'll be talking about basic sentence structures in Nepali. So let's get started. Now, before we dive into sentence structures in Nepali, first let's look at how sentences are structured in English. English sentences typically follow the pattern subject, verb, and then object. In Nepali, the sentence is slightly different. Nepali sentences usually follow the pattern subject, object, and then verb. Verb always comes at the end of the sentence in Nepali. Now, let's look at a few examples, and along the way, I'll teach you a few new words you can add to your vocabulary. So, for the first example, we have the sentence, I eat rice. This sentence in Nepali is Ma bhat khanchu. Ma bhat khanchu. In this sentence, ma means I, which is the subject, bhat means rice, which is the object, and khanchu is the verb to eat. So as you can see, it follows the pattern subject, object, and then verb. Now to say you eat rice, in Nepali you would say timi bhat khancho. Timi bhat khancho. In this sentence, timi means you, which is the subject, bhat means again rice, which is the object, and khancho is the verb eat. Notice that when we said I eat rice, I said khanchu, but when we say you eat rice, we say khancho. We'll talk more about verb conjugation in a different video. Now, here's the final example. David plays football. This sentence in Nepali would be David football khelcha. David football khelcha. In this sentence, David is obviously the subject, football is the object, and khelcha is the verb plays. In Nepali, football is commonly just called football. They borrowed the English word for this. Some people might tell you that the correct Nepali term is bhakundo, which is technically true. However, in everyday conversation, bhakundo is almost never used. That's why I'm going to say football here as well. Now, let's talk about sentences that don't really have objects, but have complements instead. For those of you who don't know what a complement is in the context of sentence structure, a complement is basically a word or a group of words that complete the meaning of the sentence by giving more information about the subject or the object. Complements can be noun, pronouns, or adjectives. Now let's first look at sentence structures with complements in English. They follow the pattern subject, verb, and then complement. In Nepali, it's subject, complement, and then verb. Notice that this pattern is exactly the same as the pattern with object. We've just replaced objects with complements here. So the key idea here is that verb always comes at the end of the sentence in Nepali, regardless if the sentence has objects or complements on them. Now let's look at a few examples with complements instead of objects. The first example we have is a sentence we learned in the previous video, Mero naam David ho. In this sentence, Mero naam is the subject, David is the complement because it's giving additional information about the subject, and ho is the verb. So here's another example. He is my brother, or he is my younger brother. This sentence in Nepali would be U mero bhai ho. U mero bhai ho. In this sentence, U means he, which is the subject. Mero bhai means my brother, which is the complement, and ho is the verb is. The word brother can actually be translated in two different ways depending on age. Younger brother in Nepali is called bhai, and older brother is called dai. Bhai and dai. Now let's look at this sentence, she is my sister, or she is my younger sister. To say this sentence in Nepali, you would say U mero bahini ho. U mero bahini ho. In this sentence, U means she, which is the subject. Mero bahini means my sister, which is the complement, and ho is the verb is. Similar to brother, there's also two words for sister in Nepali. The word for younger sister is bahini, and the word for older sister is didi. Bahini and didi. Now let's look at a couple more sentences. Let's look at this sentence. The boy is tall. To say this sentence in Nepali, you would say Keta aglo cha. Keta aglo cha. In this sentence, keta means boy, which is the subject. Aglo means tall, which is the adjective complement. And cha is the verb is, or to be. So by now, you've seen two words used to translate the to be verb in Nepali. They are ho and cha. But there's slight difference between them. Ho is usually used for identity. It's used in sentences where you're basically describing identity of someone or something. It's usually used in sentences like, I am a teacher, she is a student, they are athletes, stuff like that. On the other hand, cha is used to describe state, location, or quality. It's used for sentences like, he is tall, she is beautiful, the dog is cute, the phone is on the table, and so on. Alright, now let's look at the final example. The girl is tall. This sentence in Nepali would be Keti ugly cha. Keti ugly cha. In this sentence, Keti means girl, which is subject. Ugly means tall, which is the adjective complement. And cha is the verb is. Alright, that wraps up our video on basic sentence structures in Nepali. If you like this video at some point, please don't forget to leave a like. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.